Welcome again to Let's Talk Science with Pastor Dan. We've been working through the Lord's Prayer. We've been looking at the different aspects of it. We've covered so far our Father who art in heaven. He is your Father if you're saved, if you're in Christ. He reigns in heaven. Holy is his name. He is holy. He is separate. He is godly. He is pure. We need to understand that, and we need to follow after that, not in our own flesh, but in his ability that he carries us. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. We speak God's will into existence on earth. In heaven it's done, but on earth we speak it because he's given dominion here. Give us this day our daily bread. We get everything we need from the Father, and everything we need is sustained by him. So we're going to continue on today, looking at the next aspect of it, where it says, forgive us our debts. Now, I was raised and grew up, forgive us our trespasses. I like debts personally better, and we forgive our debtors. And the idea of forgiveness. Forgiveness is something that I've talked about in the past. It is something that every Christian needs to do. Everybody needs to do. Why is it so important to walk in forgiveness? Two good examples I've heard about spoken over the years. Forgiveness is when you open a prison door and you find the person that's actually captive inside of there is yourself. Forgiveness is or unforgiveness is when you're trying to drink poison in order to hurt somebody else. When we are in unforgiveness, it affects us. And a lot of times the person that we are in unforgiveness towards doesn't care, doesn't matter to them. And even if they do care, we're harming ourselves more than anything else. We forgive because we have been forgiven. And Jesus talked about the story of the servant who was forgiven of a huge debt, more than he could possibly ever pay off, and wouldn't forgive the debt of his fellow slave, was just owing a couple $100 in effect, very small amount in comparison. We need to understand we have so many sins upon us. Now, I know there's a lot of things in people's lives that are horrific. Things have happened to people that should never have happened. That happens because we live in a sinful, fallen world. And people are allowed to make decisions, and those decisions have consequences that affect others. And I'm sorry for that. But the fact is, we need to forgive because we need to let people to have the grace of God fall upon us. Forgiveness, my mother-in-law would say, forgiveness is not an act, it's a process. In other words, when you forgive, it's not one and done. You have a continual act because those feelings will come back. The enemy will bring them back, try to encourage you to fall back into unforgiveness. But you say to him, and you say to yourself, and you say to your spirit, and you say to your flesh, no, I'm not going to receive that. I have chosen to forgive them. Now, it doesn't mean you have to allow that person to have authority in your life or to have anything necessary to do with them. That's fine. When Jesus, he did forgive the Pharisees. He called them vipers and stuff like that. But he did forgive the Pharisees, and because he said, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. But he didn't stay there and allow them to abuse them. When he was being attacked, he would leave, because God doesn't call us to be a doormat. Just because we forgive somebody doesn't mean they have the right and authority to abuse us. So we walk in forgiveness because we have been forgiven. And we remember that part in this so that we release that spirit is upon us to hold something, to want to get back at somebody. Unforgiveness is wanting to have someone pay back for what they did. And forgiveness is removing that debt, saying you don't have to do that. It's done. It's taken care of. So that's what I thought for today. Hopefully not too bad. Take care. God bless.